Hello, in next 10 to 15 minutes we are going to learn about the task 1 of writing from the TOEFL writing test, and we are going to also see some examples. So this is how your writing test would be evaluated. The task asks you to select the right information, compare it, and then present it. The question typically is divided into two parts. In the first part there is a text, so you are supposed to read the text, and this is followed by a presentation, an audio presentation or a lecture. So you are supposed to make comparisons between the text and the lecture, and then you are supposed to write in a very coherent way whether the lecture supports the idea presented in the text or it opposes it. So you are supposed to select the information, compare it, and present it. And as written here, you can pause and read this criteria. Any small imperfections or inaccuracies or errors are actually ignored. What is important is that you take very precise notes and present it in an easy to understand manner. So here you can see that the format of the question is going to remain the same, and you will get 20 minutes to answer the question. So let's just quickly read the question. Summarize the points made in the lecture, being sure to explain how they oppose specific points made in the reading passage. See, this is very important to focus on. The question says, the statement says summarize the points. It's not saying describing the points. Summarize means you are supposed to be very precise. So this word is very important here because it says summarize the points made in the lecture, which means you are supposed to showcase your skills of precise writing. And that's important. You're not supposed to write a very long answer. An answer of around 200 to 220 words would be enough as far as this particular question is concerned. And you will get just 20 minutes. So basically you will get just enough time to make your first draft, which means you have to be super quick. And learning certain formats and templates would be super useful as far as this question is concerned. So we are going to learn a few of them here. 20 minutes really pass very quickly, and you are supposed to make sure that you finish the task within the given time span. As far as the types of questions are concerned, there can be disagreement questions where whatever passage says and whatever speaker says are two contrasting viewpoints. So this is one common variant. This is one common question where the text talks about something and the speaker talks about something else. When you write the structure, follow this PEE. This is very important to follow. It makes you very organized. First, write down the point. When you start a new paragraph, write the theme sentence or the point, then give an example or whatever extra details are there, and then elaborate upon it. So you can make use of PEE structure. The second type of question could be where there is an agreement between whatever is said in the lecture and whatever is said in the passage. So there can be an agreement. Earlier we saw disagreement. Here there is an agreement. I'm sorry, I just scribbled it here. So this could be a disagreement between, the agreement between the passage and the speaker. So the passage may introduce some concept and the speaker may further elaborate that concept with an example. Let us say the passage talks about pollution in general and that it causes lots of problems, and the speaker may talk about one or two specific problems, let's say related to diseases and something related to, let us say, contamination of food. So here there is a general talk about pollution, and here this person has given examples of it. So you have to be careful. Sometimes the question would be of agreement type, where the text and the spoken part would be in the same direction, or they would be supporting each other. The text might give some concept and the spoken part simply substantiate it with some examples. There are some standard phrases, so you can just pause the video and read them. These are some very simple phrases that you can use in your writing. The author states that, the author mentions that, the author argues that, or according to the written passage. Similarly, while talking about the speaker, you can use these structure. The speaker refutes the author by providing counter arguments and alternative explanation. The speaker supports the viewpoint of the author by substantiating with examples and further explanations. Contrary to the viewpoint of the author, the speaker argues that I would request you to write all these phrases 4 or 5 times and kind of, you know, remember them so that you can use them repeatedly or easily, readily in your test. You'll get, as I told you earlier, you're going to get very limited time. So learning these structures or some fixed sentences would be of great help. One word of caution here: it is mentioned in the rubric that you are supposed to use your own words and phrases. So do not rely too much on them. You should use them sparingly. You should use your own phraseology, your own sentences while depicting your thoughts. Here there is an example. This is taken from the ETS book, the standard book given by ETS from test 1. The question is about altruism, where the passage talks about altruism in the in animals and in human beings, and the speaker actually refutes. He says that there is no such thing as altruism, and here we have got an example. So, the structure, we have used those standard phrases to write the answer. At the beginning itself, we are saying the speaker refutes the viewpoints of the author by providing counter arguments and alternative explanations. So this is something which you can use in all the questions. According to the passage, animals and humans do some acts motivated by altruistic feelings, or perform some acts or show altruistic behavior in certain situations. You can use any structure. However, the lecturer disagrees. So this is very precise. Then you start with the lecturer. Always see the question. I would always ask you to explain the viewpoint of the speaker with reference to passage. So you can always start with the speaker. According to the lecturer, the sentinel meerkat actually stands near the burrow. Thus, it is safer than other meerkats. Further, so these kind of words add value to your writing because you are expanding the same idea. The act of raising an alarm actually causes other meerkats to run here and there. This helps to draw the predator's attention on the group and drawing his attention away from the sentinel. Moreover, the sentinel eats its food first. Thus, the view that he sacrifices food is also incorrect. So here we have talked about the meerkat, and then we talk about the humans. Similarly, the lecturer argues that humans who donate their food or organs to save others are also driven by self-interest. They get a lot of appreciation for their acts. This helps them to boost their self-esteem, and they consider such gains, there should be a comma here actually, such gains more important than the donations they do. Overall, according to the speaker, the apparent acts of kindness are actually the acts of selfish behavior. So you have summed it up saying this. So basically, we have written two paragraphs. One is about the meerkats, the second is about the humans, and then we have summed it up. And we have used some standard phrases. It is very important that you use correct English, and using these templates to practice your own writing is important. Once you use these templates to write a few of your own answers, you kind of start remembering them, and that helps you to draft your answers easily. Here there is one more draft, so you can pause it and you can go through it. In this, the same structure is, the same question is there, but the structure is used in a little different way. So we have introduced saying the lecturer or the speaker refutes the author by providing alternative reasons and explanations. The author states that the sentinel meal cart sacrificed their food to serve other meal carts in the group. Further, the author also mentions that they put themselves into danger by acting as sentinels to save others. So first we have discussed the author's point of view, then we are refuting it by stating what the speaker says, and then again there is again the structure of author and speaker. So more or less the same kind of structure. The only difference is that first we talk about the author separately, then we talk about the speaker, and then we summarize the whole thing. Here there is one more example, which is this is from question number 2 from ETS, where there is a discussion about professors and whether they should appear on TV or not. So the structure followed here is, first we have just mentioned a small paragraph talking about what the author says or the written passage says, and then one by one all those 3 points are discussed. I mean, how the speaker refutes them or uh, discards them, rebuffs those ideas. So that is spoken here in three different paragraphs. So the structure is, first we talk about what the author said, and then we talked about how the speaker refuted them. So this is one more structure which you can use to convey your thoughts. So you can pause the video and read it, and you can practice the same kind of structures. It is very important that you remember a few formats, a few templates to write it, but yes, as I told you earlier, you should use them sparingly. So my final comments on this is that, first of all, decide whether you are supposed to refute or support and use the vocabulary accordingly. In case you are refuting, use the words which are used for refuting, like in contrast, on the contrary. If you are supporting, then use the same kind of vocabulary which is used for supporting, and use the format of your choice that you want. Either you can use the format wherein you talk about author's point of view first and then make a big paragraph talking about what the speaker or the lecturer says. So this is what the author said, and this is what the speaker said. This is one structure that you can follow. Or you can give an introduction and then one line on author and how the speaker refutes it or supports it. Then again the second point mentioned by the author and how the speaker refutes it or supports it. And then at the end you write a small summary statement. But you are supposed to be very precise. As I told you at the beginning, the question tells you to summarize the information, which means you are supposed to be absolutely precise here. You're not supposed to elaborate, you're not supposed to give extra examples or details. Try to just gather the main points and speak about them. Practice as much as possible so that you master the skill of writing quickly and precisely. All the very best to you. Thank you.